Okay, so thank you for joining us today for this great webinar. So as I mentioned before, this is a similar topic to one we ran back in January, but the topic in January was focused on your personal planning. Today, I want to talk more to you about your business planning and how you plan your business and how we move forward with that. I'm going to check in regularly with you via the question box, so be prepared to type in some answers and things there. If you haven't downloaded the handout, it's in the little handout section of your control panel, and you can download that, make a few notes as we go, and we'll get going. So make sure you download the worksheet. I guess before we begin, I guess today I want to talk about some important concepts, and these are challenges that I see with business all the time. You know, it's often at this time of the year, so it's early August, and like many businesses, you've probably been reflecting back on the previous financial year. And like most people, you know, you have too many unfinished tasks, too many squandered opportunities, and too much wasted energy and resources to get going. And the biggest worry is that 2016 will be a similar year. Sorry, that 2017 will be a repeat of 2016. So we're really concerned that we're going to end up with that sort of challenge. So what we aspire for really is a year where we focus on the important things and we get optimum leverage from our time and resources. And what we're looking for, I think, is a simple planning process that I guess keeps you focused on the key elements. And I guess there's a couple of things to think about with our planning. And I want you to we're going to do a little poll. I'm getting quite used to these polls, so let's do a little poll. So what I want you to tell me about is the poll. I'll launch it. All right. So how would you describe your plan for 2016? I want you to pick the one that fits you best. So is it a well-documented plan with clear targets and really well communicated to your team? Was it a hastily written plan with little detail, unclear targets? Plan was in your head, was well thought through, had some clear targets, but not brilliant. Had a bit of a plan in your head, but no real targets, or you're going, what plan? What are you talking about? So I'll give you a few seconds just to do that. Excellent. Just click on the poll there. Everybody's whipping through. Another minute or so. She won't be a minute. Okay, how are we going? All right, so pretty evenly spread out, but only 30% of you had a well-documented plan. The rest were split between, this hastily written thing. Sorry, I'll just check. Anybody else having a sound issue? No? Okay, excellent. Might just be some spooling at your end. Thanks, sorry. Just checking that we've got sound up. So 30% of you have a well-documented plan, but the rest of you have plans that are a bit hastily written or stored in your head, which is a really dumb place to keep them, just quietly. And 20% of you don't really have a plan at all. And I guess I think anything but sort of level one, a well-documented plan is what I call sort of WOFTAM planning, a waste of free time and money. I knew you thought I was going to say something different there, but it's a waste of your free time and money. So it's that WOFTAM, okay? So it's just wasting your time and money and effort for you not to do it well. All right, so that's the thing I want us to focus on before we move ahead. And today I want to talk you through that sort of planning process. Now today we're going to we need to focus on our destination first. We're going to cover a lot of ground today, actually, and I'm going to skip through some of the elements. And as I'm recording this, I guess my expectation is that if you're really interested in this process, then you'll come back and watch the recording, and I'll get you to press pause and play pause, do an exercise, press play, and come back, because there's too much for us to cover in 60 minutes. And to be truthful, I'm going to struggle to get it done for you in 60 minutes. But I want to take you through the process and the thinking so that you get some clarity around that. All right, so we're going to do that. So you must have a clear, compelling idea of where you're heading, and this is critical. And it's critical because we need to build emotion, conviction, and connection. And you can't do that without a clear picture of where you're heading. So we need to get this really clear picture of where we're going and what we're doing first. Second point I want you to think about is becoming more. Okay, so this is about more than just your business. It's about personal growth, and it's about business growth. And a bit of that is that sort of old adage of, if your business is not growing, you're standing still. I think that's fairly apt. And it's not just about sales. Your business can be growing in a lot of different ways apart from just in sales. It might be growing in profit, it could be growing in volume, it could be growing changing systems, developing, moving to new markets, a whole heap of things, which may have some short-term impacts. But generally, you want your business to be growing, and you want to be growing as a leader in your business as well. And I think that's really important. Probably discussed more of that back in the webinar in January, and you can go back and watch that. Next thing is, we need to work your plan. And what I'm talking about here is implementation is the key. So it's great to have a really well documented plan, but unless we actually jump in and start to actually implement the plan, it's all a bit of a waste of time. So as a coach, I work with a wide range of businesses. Some of them are logged on here tonight, so thank you for them. But most businesses fail to deliver in this implementation phase. So too many people are just struggling to come up with the implementation and get that implementation right. Okay, so really important that you work the plan and you put it into place. As I mentioned, there are two plans. So you need a plan for your business, and I really do think you need a plan for your business, and we're going to talk about a cascaded plan for your business. But you also need a personal plan. You need a plan for you as a leader within your business. So it's not enough just to say, well, I'm the boss of the business, I'm just going to help other people do their job. I want to know what it is that you are going to do within your business to make things a reality. So you've got to plan at two levels, and your plan as an individual needs to be more personal. We covered some of that in January, but you might want to use the same process today to help plan your business for the future. All right, keyword optimize, and this is a key focus for the whole process today. So it's not about excellence. It's about getting the biggest bang for your buck. Yeah, and my favorite saying, I guess, over the last year has been imperfect action. Okay, I find too many businesses get analysis paralysis and struggle to make things happen because they're trying to make things perfect. I prefer that you have a bit of a dodgy plan that doesn't quite work, where you really drive things forward and you take action and start to refresh and rework your plan along the way. So optimize is a key word. Now we've got a bit of a model here for you, and you remember this model from the thing in January. And there are 8 key elements I want to point out for you. The first thing is we need to have a destination. We're going to go through these in a bit of detail, but we need to have some clarity around our destination, about where we're heading and what we're doing. We then also need to take responsibility for achieving that, and we need to impart responsibility to our team members so that we're getting them to put this destination in place, and taking responsibility for achieving the things that we need to achieve. If we have destination and responsibility, we get conviction. Okay, so if we give responsibility, we get conviction. The third point is collaboration. Okay, so we've got focus on destination, we've got some responsibility, and we're getting people to collaborate. Responsibility and collaboration give us synergy, and we get movement and collaboration give us momentum. So if you think about it, we need to get focus on our destination, we need to take responsibility for that, we need to get the team engaged, and we need to start taking steps in the right direction. We get all that, we start to get progress. So it's a simple model, but it's really powerful. Now today, I'm going to spend more time talking about destination and movement. Yes, Kanye, we are going to record this, mate. Sorry you're having audio issues. You can log on through your iPhone or your iPad if that helps, if you're not getting the right audio there. So apologies for that. Okay, so let's get started. A couple of things we've got to think about. Time horizons. I think you need to do your planning over different time horizons. Okay, so we need to do that so that we get the detail at the right level. Okay, so if we're not getting detail at the correct level, then our time horizons, we don't have the right time horizons. Too many people plan for too long out or too short and don't have the right time horizons. So what are the time horizons I'm talking about? So I'm talking about you need to have a strategic plan. Yeah, we need to have 3 to 5 year plan that defines where we're heading, clearly where we're heading and what we're doing. We then need to have a 1 year annual operating plan. So where are we going to be in a year and what are we going to focus on? And then lastly, you need to have a 90-day focus. So let's get that 90 days happening. And your plan should cascade. So your strategic plan should feed into your annual operating plan, which should feed into your 90-day plan. Make sense? Perfect. Now today we're just going to talk about your annual operating plan and your 90-day plan. Okay. So the big question, and this is I guess a key question you need to be asking yourself, is what do you need to have done to be delighted with yourself and your business in 12 months' time? So if you met yourself walking down the street in 12 months' time and you reflected back on it, how would you say you've done, and would you be delighted and happy with yourself? Would you be really pleased? All right. Now, I guess I know some of you want to start making notes and getting into that, but I guess we just don't have time to go everything today. So I think the important things here are that come back at another time, press pause when you get to this point, and I want you to go and answer this question. And I want you to take the time to do it. And I want you to create a story. I often write myself a letter from the future is a nice way to do it. So you can say, let's set it at 30th of June 2017. Write yourself a letter from the future talking about how grateful and happy you are for what's happened in the previous year. And talk about all the things that are important. Now remember, we need to do that so we get that sort of emotional connection. Because when you get emotional connection, you get the right thoughts, you get the right words, and then you get the right actions. Okay, so really important that you do this. So if you're watching the recorded version of this now, press pause, take some time to answer the question, press start when you're ready to go again. Okay, so a couple of things about destinations. I want you to dream big. We can do more in 5 years than we can possibly imagine. So I want you to think big, all right? So take the time to dream. I don't mind how you do that, but take the time to dream. Second thing is write it down. Okay, so make notes, so write things down. Too many people keep all their ideas in their head, and it's a really dumb place to keep them. Okay, so write them down. The mere act of writing them makes them far more concrete for you. Okay, so just write them down. Slip along to your nearest stationery supplier, buy yourself a lined journal, and just write some notes in it. I'm not talking about a Dear Diary today, I went to the movie sort of journal. What I'm talking about is a plain journal where you keep ideas around your business and concepts and things that you're thinking of. Write yourself these stories, set your goals, set your plans, do it all. Okay, so keep it in a journal. All right, let's talk about the destination. So you need to get clear on where you want to end up, and that's the whole point of this. Now, there's a couple of things to think about. We need to think about where are we now, where are we heading, and then how we're going to get there. All right, so it's a simple model, but it's a really powerful model. It's the basis of all good planning and problem solving. So the first thing I want you to do is look forward. Okay, so I want you to do the where, and I'm going to give you a framework to think about. But right now, what I want you to do is I want you to take a second. I want you to grab the worksheet. In the top left-hand corner of the worksheet, under destination, I want you to write in a couple of numbers for me. You may not have all these numbers here, but I want you to at least write in what your sales were for the last year. Have a guess if you don't know it exactly. And then I want you to plan and say, what do I really want my sales to be in the next year? And that goes into the where column. Okay? And then calculate the gap. Now, if you got some of the numbers at your fingertips, you might put in some profit figures there. You might just do them as a percentage of your sales. That's okay. But if your where figure is not 20 to 30% of your sales, so if your profit figure is not 20 to 30% of your sales, I think you've got to be having a look at your plan again, because that's where you need to be. All right. So I want you to quickly do that for me, and just jump in there and type them in, or write them in. Sorry. Now, when you've done that, I want you to jump into the question box and just tell me what's the change in sales. Give it to me as a percentage. What do you think the change in sales is going to be for you in that next 12 months? What does it need to be for your business to be profitable and to give you the lifestyle and the things that you desire? Okay. And be no names, no factual. So 50%. So we've got a growth of 50%. That's excellent. Yeah, another 50%. Fantastic. 20%. Excellent. Doesn't matter what the number is, as long as you set a number and something for you to aspire to. 17%. 13%. 42%. 85%. Excellent. 70, 20, 20, 50, 60, 75, 22. That's fairly accurate. All right. Thank you. All right. So that's great. Oh, there's more rolling in. So that's fine. So thank you very much for that. So, you can see there's some motivation for you. What I want you to think about is, using that as motivation. This is what we need to achieve. So this is what we've got to do. So look forward. I find it's important to focus on the where first. And I'll give you a bit of a framework to think through this stuff in just a second. All right. Now, we also need to look back, and that's the now. Okay. And it's really important that we just take the time to reflect on where we've come from and what have you learned. What are the lessons that you've learned? All right. Now, some of you may be familiar with it, but you're welcome to use the business diagnostic that's on my website, which is a free diagnostic. You answer 25 questions. It will help you point out some of the weak areas in your business that you might need to work on. That can be part of your now analysis. It could be an analysis of your financials. You might want to talk to your accountant about that. We've got some accountants online here today. You should be talking to your clients about analysing their figures for where they've gone in the last year, all that sort of stuff. All right, so there's lots of, so if you want to use the diagnostic, sorry, it's on my website. Somebody said, where is it? It's on the website, either SBD Business or the Horticulture Next Generation site, and it's under free tools, and it's called a business diagnostic. Okay, and it's absolutely free, and that's it. So, and you may want to get somebody objective to help you review your business. Have a good look at your business from the outside and give you some feedback on the things that they see, because often we're too close to the forest and can't see the forest for the trees. Okay, so there's a bit of a tip for you. All right, well, now when we're looking at frameworks to set some of the planning horizons, okay, so when we're looking at frameworks, I use a simple framework which I call a 6 P's framework. And I use this for the now and the where, and you can use it at 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 90 days, whatever you want. And what I want you to do is just to think about it and say, okay, tell me what's happening, either happening now, or what would you like to see happening in the future with patrons and customers. So who are they? What do they look like? Who's buying your product? All those sorts of things. What's the demographic? If you jump on the website, you'll see some videos around your avatar. So who's your avatar and what's happening with them? Your products and services. So what's happening with your products and services? Are you bringing on more products? Are you streamlining them? What are we doing? Okay. Promotions and sales. So marketing and sales. What are you doing to market your business and your sales processes? So they're the things I want you to tell me about. Processes and systems. Really hard to deliver high quality products to your customers without good processes and systems. You can have all the great marketing in the world, but unless you've got great promotion systems, it doesn't work. You need people to drive those processes and systems, and we need management systems to help them do their job better. And then lastly, where are we in terms of profit and cash flow? Okay, so I want you to write in some of the numbers that are important to you in your business in that space. Okay, so where are you now? Where do you need to be in the future? And if you see that little, the little area in the destination there, I've given you just some little prompts there you might think about. Sales, profit, volume, that fits into that profit and cash flow area. Okay, so you might have savings, you might have debt levels, you might have some other things you want to put into that profitability space that give you an idea of where you want to be. Okay, so use the 6Ps framework to help you get there. All right, so once we've worked out where are we now, where are we going to get to, we've got to start thinking about how we're going to get there. And there's a really simple tool that I like to use called Big Rocks. All right, and this comes from Stephen Covey, the late Stephen Covey, who unfortunately passed away 2 years ago, from his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. In that book, and Covey talks about if you've got to put some large rocks, some small rocks, some gravel, some sand, and some water into a container, if you don't put the big rocks in first, you can't get it done. So what I want you to focus on are what are the big rocks. So what are the 3 things that you must deliver on in the next 12 months, no excuses. Now, actually, a colleague of mine, Mike Burke, takes it one step further and says, what's the one thing you must deliver on in the next 12 months, no excuses. Now, if you can't just focus on one, I'll give you 3, but you can't have 5, okay? So I want you to think about that. So I want you to think about the 3 things you must deliver, but give me the first one. So put the first one in, and under that destinations area, there's a little work area there. I want you to write in what's the first thing that jumps into your head that you must deliver on in the next 12 months, no excuses, the one thing, and type it into the question box for me. So what's the one thing you must focus on? Absolutely critical to you achieving your targets in the next 12 months. Yep. Quality fruit, crop growth, yeah, client portal based website, yeah, sales, just get some sales, fantastic. Yeah, better response time and project outcomes, yeah, training, so to build, is that training yourself or your team? Yeah, better in-house processes, yeah, marketing, yeah, and assigning the time to get, yeah, on set tasks, that's good, right? And that's really important because you've got all the time in the world you need. You're just setting priority. We're just setting our priorities differently. So I find that sometimes you just got to set your priorities right in order to get there. Okay, training, processes, yep, better systems. Okay, excellent. Yep, better sales processes, good stuff. All right, so. And again, I'm going to get you to press pause if you're watching the recorded version of this, but just press pause and then press play when you're ready to go. But I want you to write down, the 3 things you must focus on. Really important because they're the big rocks. They're the big rocks we need to put in place in the next 12 months if we're going to achieve what we need to do. Now, it's quite simple. It's based on your gut feel and your intuition. You may want to have somebody overlook that with you and you may want to share it with somebody else, but start at that point, and I find that's a really important point. Once we've done that, then we can start to put it into our annual operating plan. This is a framework that I use. It's quite a simple framework. Basically, we talk about what are the key issues we're facing at the moment, what are the big rocks, so what are the big rocks that we really need to focus on, and don't forget we've already done our strategic plan where we've defined where we're heading and what we're doing and our values and all that sort of stuff. So we've got our strategic plan right. This is the annual operating plan. For each of those big rocks, and your big rock could be, improve engagement with customers. Describe what it is, what you really mean by that, and put a descriptive phrase in there or 2, a paragraph that defines what you're really trying to achieve in that. Then think about the key measures. So what are some of the key measures that will let you know that you've achieved that in the next 12 months, that particular big rock? Okay. So once we've done that, we've sort of defined the where for the next 12 months in some ways. We can then start to go, okay, transfer your big rocks down into the lower part. What are the strategies we need to implement if we're going to put that big rock in place? What are the action steps that are going to take place for that strategies or those strategies? Who's going to do them and when? And what resources will we need in terms of people, capital, and assets and other assets? So an example would be, if you want to improve engagement with customers, so that's your big rock. Strategies might be to implement a 90-day contact program. Your actions around that could be, develop the contact plan, establish clear systems, collate some content, make it happen. That could be your 3 actions. Set some who's and some when's for that. Your resources could be, well, we need to set up a CRM or something so we get our list in the right way, or we need to get MailChimp so we do our mail outs right, or something else, or Instapage so we get our marketing right. Okay, so break it down. And then those actions can still be reasonably large if you need to be, because don't forget we've got a 90-day plan to come. So make sure you've got some clarity around the strategies you need to put in place, the big actions, so the gravel, if you like, that we need to put in place in order to make things happen, and what sort of resourcing we're going to need. So think that through. Okay, so if you're watching this at home again, just press pause and then press play when you're ready. You'll be able to download the template from the resources section of the website. Okay. Critical question with this is, how does it all fit the now, where, how? Well, the key issues are the now, the where is that top part, and then the how is the bottom. Okay, so I don't mind how your now, where, how plan comes together, but it's nice to have a plan on a page that helps you focus on those things. Now, I don't mind if you modify it and you put some more detail into the where or whatever you need to do. That's okay, but this is the annual operating plan that I work to. I guess the key question then is, does everybody in your organisation know the top priorities? The top priorities for next year. So if I came into your business, stopped everybody in their lunch break and asked them that question, how many of them would get it right? Yep. That's a pretty important question. And if they don't, if you haven't communicated it clearly, then you've got some challenges. So let's talk a bit about that. Think back to our model. We've talked about destination. We've talked about responsibility. So getting people to take responsibility for their actions is fairly important. It's a critical next step. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here, but we're going to touch on bits of it. First thing is, you need to lead from the front. Okay, makes sense. If you're going to walk the talk, if you're going to talk the talk, you need to walk the talk. So make sure you lead from the front, that you're focused on effective communication, you're focused on your goals, and that you're leading your business well. Okay, too many leaders just assume everybody's just going to do it, and it's okay if they don't. I think you have to lead by example. All right, and set yourself up for success. Second thing is, go public. I'm not saying here you have to put your plan on the internet or anywhere else, but tell everybody that matters. Okay, so you need to communicate it well with your team. You need to communicate it with your advisors. You need to get their input into it, and you need to get some focus. All right, so make sure that you're doing that. And communication is not sending it out as an email to everybody. You'd be surprised the number of people I talk to and go, oh yeah, we emailed the plan around. Surprisingly, nobody's picked it up and run with it. So we need to have some sessions where we tell a story and we get some buy-in, because words create worlds. Okay, so really simple solution. You need to tell a story. You need to communicate the emotion. You need to get the buy-in. You need to discuss it with your team and get their input into it. It's okay for you to have done the thinking about your plan and what you need to do beforehand, but you may actually want to have the team contribute and be part of that planning process. Okay, so I'd advise you to think through what you really want to happen in your business, but then engage the team. Tell a story about where you want to go and what you want to do, and engage them on how we're going to get there. All right, so that's really, really important. The last thing is then we need to coach and support people. So we need to get them locked in, and that's really important. Now, I reckon in the last 3 years, I've had more clients have more issues with people than in the previous time. Harder to get good quality people. Their aspirations are sometimes different to the aspirations of the leaders in the business, and I think in the past we've been a bit spoiled. Business is getting tougher. People are getting harder and harder. We're trying to do more with less, that whole VUCA sort of model, and we actually need to spend some time managing and leading our people in our businesses. And in the past, I think we've got away with it by not doing it. But this time around, I really think we need to make sure that we're doing a lot more with our management. And too many businesses have got rid of the ranks of middle management, assuming they don't do anything, and are now having to go back and replace some of those middle management, because they're the people that keep your team motivated. They communicate, they focus, and follow up with them. Now we've got a simple model that we use This is our coaching matrix. It's a great model for thinking about when you're working with your team, because the biggest danger is you treat everybody the same, and not everybody is the same. Now I'm not going to go through this today, but we'll give you a link. It'll be on the resources pages. You can also find the link. It's on the YouTube channel and the website. It's called Coaching Your Team. All right, so got to get people to take responsibility. And that responsibility is about a couple of things. It's about getting them to focus on what the goals need to be and how they're going to achieve them, and then holding them to account. Too often, we give responsibility without accountability. Okay, so we make people responsible. We don't hold them to account, or sometimes we hold them to account and don't make them responsible. So make sure that you're doing both sides of that coin. And I want you to think about, where is the lack of personal responsibility, either yours or your team members, actually cost your business in this last year? All right. So when it's done well, you'll find that responsibility is a really powerful thing. Your team will pick up and run with it, but you're going to have to put some effort into them to get them to do that. They're not going to self-manage, I don't believe, into that space. All right, if we think about our model, then, if we've got, that destination with responsibility, we start to get some conviction. Okay, we get people focused on that conviction. If we move to the next quadrant, we start talking about collaboration. And that's about using all the brains you've got and all the brains you can borrow. And that's a quote from US President Woodrow Wilson. So, collaboration is really, really critical. And it's about expanding your networks. Who do you know that can help you grow your business and develop your business? How can you interact with people at a different level to what you've already done? So expand your networks, because your business gets bigger. You might think about where you can go to get some input and some advice that you wouldn't normally get. It might be to a conference that you wouldn't normally go to. It may be going to some seminars or something else. Whole heap of stuff. All right. No worries, Rob. Thank you. So, make sure you do that. Second point is, make sure you give and receive. It's a two-way street. Be prepared to help other people in their businesses, and you might want to you might be part of some mentoring programs or other things, but give and receive. Give people some advice and some feedback, and make sure you're helping them. So it's a two-way street, collaboration. Woodrow Wilson's thing, don't use all the brains you have, but all the brains you can borrow. So again, this question of who is on the support team to help you grow your business. Okay, so who needs to be on the support team? So I want you to quickly go to the worksheet again, bottom left-hand corner, collaboration. So, who needs to be on your support team to help you grow your business? You can type those answers into the question box when you've got one or two people you think about. All right. If you're watching this at home and they're watching the recorded version, just press pause, do the exercise, press play when you're ready to start again. Okay, so who are the really important people that you're going to need to have involved in your business? Tell me who somebody new that you're currently not on your team that you know you need to have, and you need to go and find them. Anybody? Everybody's thinking. Okay. Yep. Accountant. Yeah. Yeah. Virtual assistant. Yeah. A tech lead. Yeah. Yeah. Marketing manager. Yeah. Good work, Rebecca. More coach, more consistently. Excellent. Yeah. Yeah. A mentor for training that needs to happen. Yeah. So get somebody to help you and give you some advice. Fellow directors. Yeah. Good one, Paul. Yeah. Someone to interface with. Yeah. Who might that be? What sort of characteristics does that person need to have for you to be useful for you, Trev? Yeah. That's important stuff. Yep. My accountant. Oh, some customers. Actually, that's a good idea. Yeah, technical advisors, range of different ones. Okay, thank you for that. So I think it's really important to build a strong support team around yourself. So, make sure you've got good professionals to help you out. Good accountant, good lawyers, good financial planners. If you have a business coach, make sure they're good. Everybody should give you a positive return on the investment in your business. And if they're not, then you need to be having, a good think about that. All right. So collaboration, really important. Because responsibility and collaboration gives us synergy. You really start to get some energy in your business. Yeah. So you've got other people involved. People are taking responsibility. You're guiding and you're growing and you're taking your business towards your destination. All right. The last point then is movement. Last point in one of our model is movement. Movement's absolutely critical because we need to take action. Too often we don't take enough action and our businesses suffer as a result. So couple of things to think about. You need to resource up. So you need to make sure you have the right resources to help you meet your planned aspirations. Okay? So if you plan to be somewhere and you plan to do something, make sure you get the resourcing right in order to get you there. I sort of think about, when I think about resourcing, I think about it in three key areas. I think about it in terms of the knowledge that you need. That's about skills and knowledge, internal and external. It's about operating capacity. So make sure you've got your operational capacity. That's about people, it's about equipment, that's about systems, okay? Systems and processes. So make sure you've got the right resources in terms of your operational capacity. You can actually deliver on what you're promising your customer base. And then lastly, capital. So what assets do we need? What cash do we need? What access to finance do we need? All those sorts of things. So think about those sort of three areas. Make sure you've got a good resource plan. Too many businesses go into growth plans with actually out enough cash to fund the growth. It's great to bootstrap, but if you're not careful, you can bite off way more than you can chew. And there have been plenty of businesses, say, that have tried to take on the US market and have come crashing down because it's way bigger and way more powerful than what you think. And if you go to get success, it can actually just bleed you dry of all your cash very, very quickly. Okay, so that's the first thing, resource up. Second thing is break it down. Think about the steps. So I want you to cascade your plans and think about it. Step 1, step 2, step 3. So break it down and be simple, okay? And I guess you want to break it down into steps that you can hold people accountable for, okay? That's probably pretty critical of the whole thing. All right, so in order to do that, this is a simple template that I use. It's my 90-day planning template. Obviously, I have one for each quarter. It's just a matter of swapping the dates out. But important part, the top right-hand corner, what's going to be your focus for the quarter? What's going to be your theme? What are you going to focus on and what are you going to do? Your 90-day dashboard, what are the key measures that you're going to have in the next 90 days? So what are some of the things we'll tell you that's been a good 90 days for you? There might be simple, short measures, but focus on those measures. If you achieve your targets, what are we going to do to celebrate and reward? Okay, so how do we reward the team? How do we reward ourselves? Okay, what's a simple reward that you can give? It doesn't have to be monetary rewards. It can just be thank you. It can be, thank you barbecue for your team. It doesn't have to be stuff, but you need to acknowledge what people are doing. And then map out the key dates. So what are some of the key dates that are really important for us in the next 90 days? Are there events on that we need to be aware of, that we're running even? Do we have some deliverables? So we do have some due dates for deliverables of projects or outcomes for clients. Map those out. Make sure that you're putting them in. Are you taking holidays? Key members of your team taking holidays or be away in that time. So just use the calendar to put important dates for this quarter on it. The bottom part of the plan then goes back to our big rocks. So what are the big rocks for our annual operating plan? And then I want you to think about the strategies. What are the strategies that you're going to work on in that 90 days? So out of that strategic plan, like that sort of annual operating plan, we had our strategies. Which one of those are we going to plonk into this 90 days? So you don't have to work on all of them. Remember, it's an annual plan. But, for those 90-day strategies, which ones are we going to work on? So pick pick the 90-day strategies that work for you from your annual operating plan, and then think about the 90-day actions. What actions are we going to do in the next 90 days to get things done? Okay, what are we going to focus on? Break them down into achievable actions that are going to progress you towards your goals. And again, make people accountable. Who's going to do it, by when, and hold them to it. Okay, so really simple template, but it's about cascading your annual operating plan down to 90 days. Now, why 90 days? It just seems to be a nice time frame. You could break it down to 30 days if you like, but I find that there's too much churn in that. There's too much happens very, very quickly. So 90 days is a good planning horizon. Just seems to fit with most people. All right, but if you want to do 60 days or 30 days, go for it. That's okay. Same model, just different time frames. Okay, so that's that question then. What must you focus on the next 90 days to move towards your goals? So what are the most important things for us to focus on? Again, if you're watching this at home, I want you to just think about those things. Think about your big rocks. Think about your strategies. What do we need to do in the next 90 days? If we're going to get to where we want to be in 12 months' time, what do we have to do in the next 90 days to really progress that? Watching the recording, press pause, and then work on that exercise, and then press play when you're ready to go. Okay, so there's our model. If we've got collaboration and movement, we start to get real momentum. All right, and once we've got some movement and it's heading towards our destination, we really start to make progress. So the model really starts to hang together at that point. All right, so that's the best year ever. So it's about future pacing yourself. So it's about actually being really clear on where you're heading and what you're doing. So the keys to it are to finish a year, okay? So visualize the finish. So finish it before you start it, okay? So visualize the finish, set yourself up to perform, but make sure you follow through and that you get things done. Get real clarity. So take the time to tell yourself a story. Write a detailed story of what you want to have in place. So you've got real clarity on what it is you're trying to achieve, what your strategies are, why you're trying to get there. Okay? So get all that right. So you get the right emotions, the right emotional connections, you get the right conviction, and then you get the right communication to your team. So get that clarity. The more clearer your vision is, the way easier it is to achieve what you want to do. Make sure you tell some stories. Absolutely critical. We learn by telling stories. Okay? So people pick up on stories. They remember stories. They don't remember facts and figures. Okay? And then think about your preferred future. So think about how you're going to achieve it. So, you've got your vision. You've got all that sort of stuff mapped out. You've told some great stories. But how are we actually going to start to achieve our preferred future? What are we going to do? Okay? So next steps. What are the next steps? So for me, the next steps are we need to get a 2017 game plan. All right, so you need to get your annual operating plan together for 2017 and get the first quarter smoking. Okay, so we really need to have that clear. So it's a clear vision, clear action steps, and then you need to take the courage to act. Now, the challenge I have is that many of you are locked into the WOFTAM planning cycle. Okay, so a waste of free time and money. So what's going to change for you? Okay, I think it's time for you to draw a line in the sand. If you're not at that level one where you've got a clearly articulated, well thought through plan with clear objectives and goals, if you're not at that time, I think it's time to draw a line in the sand. And I want you to think about this question for me. What are you going to do differently in the next financial year to what you did last year? All right, I want you to take a minute. I want you to think about that. What are you going to do differently to what you've done in the last year in order to make it a step change for 2017? All right, I want you to write that into the question box or type that even into the question box for me. If you're watching the video, just press pause, think it through. What are you going to do differently in 2017 to what you did in 2016? Yeah, excellent. All right, going to make better utilisation of your new staff member. Yeah. Going to focus on on sales. Excellent. Yeah. Aim on mistakes, seek help. Well done. Just about everything. probably a bit broad, but what are we going to focus on? Yeah, improve people management. Yeah, that's a great one. Yeah, work on a clear vision for five years. Really important that you do that. Getting that clarity about where you want to head is an absolutely critical part. Yeah, collaborate more. Excellent. Yeah, just surround yourself with a great team, Darren. You won't regret it. Work to a better weekly program. Yeah, so break it down weekly. Okay, that's good. Yeah, delegate non-core activities. Yeah, we often do too many things. If I ask you what would get in the way, lots of you say, I don't have enough time. Well, the challenge is that you've got all the time you need. It's just you're setting other priorities for it. Okay, so you're taking the time to do other things when you should be doing other things. Yep. Leverage the team more. Yeah. Yeah, and the courage to act. Excellent. Excellent. Well done, guys. It's really good. Improve our marketing. Yep. Drive sales. Yeah. Excellent. Yeah, leverage my team. All right. Good stuff. Thank you. So that's it, and I think that's really important that you focus on what are the things that are going to stop you getting there, and what do you need to do. So make some notes today and just say, okay, I'm going to get onto this. These are the things I'm going to do. So I want you to take those actions you've just typed into the book, into the system here, and I want you to work out a clear plan for how you're going to make that happen. All right, and I want you to do something around that tomorrow. What's the one thing you're going to do tomorrow that's going to progress you? All right, it's going to help you progress. All right, now if you'd like some help, really happy to spend some time with you. The first step in that process is we book a 10-minute get to know you call. So I can't work with everybody, and not everybody's right for me. But if you're looking to get some external input into your business and to work closely with somebody like myself, then I really love to have a 10-minute chat with you just to get to know you, to work out whether we're a good fit, because we're not a good fit, we're not going to get a great result for you. If the 10 minutes chat is to your liking and my liking, then we will book another call where we'll talk about how it might work, what it might cost, all those sorts of things. So really happy to have that with you. If you'd like to book that call, just jump on the website and click on the Grow Your Business logo, and it'll take you to a point where you can book an easy 10-minute call. Of course, we've got lots of free resources for you. So don't forget the diagnostic. If you want to have a good hard look at your business, jump on there and use the free diagnostic, and it will direct you to more resources. We've got a heap of videos. We've got some blog articles. There's recordings of all the webinars, all that sort of stuff. And don't forget, you can have that 10-minute consultation if you like. Now, our next webinar is on the 1st of September, and it's about being agile. So business agility is really important. I just want to take you through a simple process to look at how agile are you and your business, and what do we do to make our businesses far more agile to handle this sort of volatile business environment. All right. Thanks very much. If you've got any questions, would love to answer those now. But if not, I'll catch you at our next webinar. Thanks very much for showing up, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks, Cameo. Going to catch up with Carolyn tomorrow. That's excellent. Thanks, Sue. Thanks, Dave. Good to have you on board. Thanks, Justin. How are things in the West? Yep. Yeah, Darren, no trouble at all. I'll flick those through to you. Yeah, I'll have your email address. That's fine. I'll flick those details through. Not a problem. Thanks, Sue. Thanks, Justin. Thanks, Denise. Good night, Mark. All right. Hey, Andrew. Yeah. So don't forget to go to the recording. So we'll send out the recording. It'll go out in the next couple of days when we edit it and get it up. And then, you'll be able to go back through this in a bit more detail. All right. Thanks very much for your good wishes, and I wish you all the best and we'll talk to you again soon. Thank you. Bye.